Hey everybody, welcome to my Friday YouTube video. Today I'm going to feature the Prized Peony stamp set. This is a beautiful stamp set, makes an awesome flower, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you how to make the flower itself. We're also going to use the Peony Dies. That comes with quite a few dies. These are ones we're not going to be using. But these are the ones we're going to use. The flower itself has 4 parts that you put together. A large, next to large, next to large, then another, and then the smallest. And the stamen in the middle. And then these make the leaves. And I'll show you guys all that at the end of this video. We'll also be using the banner triple punch today. And we'll also use the Dainty Diamonds 3D embossing folder. This embossing folder really makes a really nice background for your layers on your card. So to start with, we're going to have a piece of Blushing Bride paper, cardstock that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have already cut a piece for the inside that is 5 by 3 3/4, and I stamped this sentiment on the inside. We'll be using this sentiment here, and I use this one on the inside. This will be on the outside of the card. Okay, so we'll start out with that. Your next layer is from Rococo Rose cardstock. It is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And we're just going to use our multi-purpose glue and glue that down to our card base. Just like that. And then we have a piece of white cardstock as another layer that goes on the front. That is 5 by 3 3/4 as well. Same size as the one on the inside. Use our multi-purpose glue on that. And you're going to have just a tiny border around this. Not much of a border for the Rococo Rose showing at all. Okay. Then we take a piece of the silver foil, and like I said, I run it through the die cut machine and put this imprint of the Dainty Diamonds on there. It's really pretty. I'll bring it up a little closer so maybe you can see the detail in that. Very, very pretty. This piece is 3 3/4 by 2 7/8. So we will adhere that to our card front as well. And it doesn't have to be centered. I'm going to bring it down a little bit lower to the bottom. Okay, and hold that on there because you have the lumps and bumps with the embossing folder, so hold it and make sure that it takes hold very well on your cardstock. Okay, next we have a piece of Rococo Rose as well. And this one measures, let's see, I think I forgot to write that down. Hang on one second. This one measures about 4 1/4 by 2. 4 1/4 by 2. And I'm going to mount this right here. I want to go right up to the white and leave a little border here and bring it down this way. So we'll go ahead and adhere that down. Okay. We'll go back up to the white like I said and bring it right down and hold it so that it adheres to that foil paper real well. Now for the sentiment, I used Rococo Rose ink, and I took clear embossing powder and put that over my sentiment after I inked it, after I stamped it. Put the clear embossing powder on it, take it and use your heat gun and set that embossing powder in. It gives it a real shiny look. In another video sometime I'll show you guys how to actually do that technique, but it makes the card really pretty. Next is the flower. I've already put this one together. Like I said, at the end of the video I'm going to show you how I did it. So I'm going to place this here and see where I want the leaves. I've already done the leaves as well for this one, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And I think I'll put this leaf right about there. There you go. So I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to put the multi-purpose glue on the back of this leaf. I think I am. There we go. Okay. I'm going to put that down right there. You'll notice that there's some shadowing here on the leaves, and I'll show you how to do that when I demonstrate how to put the flower and the leaves together. Okay, that. There we go. Now I think I had it about right there. Let's see if I did. Oops, got to come up some. Right about there. And hold it down. And then I'm going to use dimensionals and put on the back of the peony itself, so as to pop it up and give it more dimension. When I first got this stamp set, I was so intimidated by this flower that I was afraid to use it. But after I did one, it is not hard. It is not difficult. You can make it any color you want. It's just a matter of putting it together like a puzzle, because you have the 4 pieces for it. Okay, we'll bring this back and we'll put the flower right there. Peony. Okay, so there is the card. Very pretty, very quick, and not difficult at all. Now I'm going to show you how I did the flower. You're going to need a scrap piece of paper. And to cut the pieces out, you're going to need about a 5x5 piece of white, Whisper White cardstock. So you're going to cut these 4 pieces out. And they look like this. The largest, next, the next, and the next. That way. Okay? So you're going to need a scrap piece of paper. Let me lay these out of the way a little bit more and bring this more in camera. And this time I'm going to use Highland Heather to make a lavender or purple flower. You're going to need a sponge dauber. This looks like it has red on it, but it's not. It's clean. So I'll take the largest part of the flower, and I hope you can see this. Let me see. There we go. So I will ink this up with my ink on the dauber. I'm going to start off the flower and come on. You can use as light or heavy pressure as you want. Just keep coming onto the card. And peonies are all different shades of color. So you just make it as dark or as light as you want. You can leave some white space in here if you'd like. Just make it your own. I would just go around the edges though and make sure that the ink is showing. And you can also like pop this out and make sure you get ink along here. You can use light pressure, you can use heavy pressure on the sponge dauber. Okay, there's the first one. Next, you'll come to the second largest size and do the very same thing. Start off, come back, whoops, come back on. That wants to mess up there. Okay, let's try again. You can make this peony any color you want, any color that you have of Stampin' Up ink that you have, any color you want to make it. You can make it as dark as you want, as light as you want. There's no wrong or right color or way to do this. You just make it however you want to do. Any color you make this is very pretty. Now I'm taking the third size. This Highland Heather is a kind of a light color. You also have Gorgeous Grape that you could do this in if you want a darker, deeper purple color. Okay. Now we're going to take the last one, this little one right here. Do the same thing with it. It doesn't look like it's going to be much when you're first doing it, but when you put this all together, it's very, very pretty. And again, it's not hard. Okay, done that. Now I'm going to put this together like a puzzle. You've got your 4 pieces here. There you go. And if you notice, at the bottom of each one of these pieces, it kind of has the same flow, if you notice. I like to start with the next to the largest, the next to the smallest, and the next to the the smallest. And you're going to slip this inside here. There we go. That in there. And turn it over on the back. You see this puzzle here? It fits together just like a puzzle. So you're going to place it like that. Look at it on the front. That's your front. So now I'm going to just bend this back just a little bit. I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue. Put a little glue on there. And then put this down. I might have put too much glue right then, but I'll just squeeze it out. Okay, make sure it fits together, stays together. Now I'm going to take the next to the largest and slip it inside here, and you're going to look at the back, and there's those puzzle pieces. Goes together just like a puzzle. So now you're going to take some of the multi-purpose glue. You can use glue dots if you want to do this and not use the glue, the multi-purpose glue, but I like to use the glue. Put your puzzle pieces together. There you go. You see it's coming together as a flower, as a peony. Then you're going to take your big one. You're going to slip this through there. And again, you're going to put this puzzle together at the back. just like that. So we're going to bend this down a little bit. Put the glue down. And then push it together. And there you have your flower. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now we're going to put the stamen in, which I did mine in yellow. So you're going to put a little bit of glue, just a little bit. And right here, you're going to slip it right in this part here. So you're going to slip it right in there. Go as far down as you want. And there you go. So there is your flower. Okay, now we're going to put the leaves together. I'll show you how to do that. And I used Pear Pizzazz for the leaf part, the main leaf part, and then Old Olive for the little darker area. And that's what these leaves make. These are the flat part of the leaf, and then these are the other little side parts. So now we're going to glue those together. And I think I've shown y'all this before. Well, first of all, let me do the coloring on them. Okay, I'm going to clean this sponge. Well, I've got another sponge dauber that's already has been cleaned off. But the sponge dauber you can just put on your Simply Chamois and clean it off just like you do your stamps, which is this little thing here. Just rub it right in there and it'll clean it. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to use Old Olive, which is the darker. This is Old Olive. This is the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to use a darker of the ink to put some dimension on these leaves. Do the same thing, just like this. Again, you can make it your own. Make it as dark or as light as you want. I'm going to have a card kit available to my team and my group in August, and this flower will be on one of the cards that I'll make for them. But I'm going to let them put the flower together. So I'm sort of doing this video as a sample to show them how to do it. Whoops. Okay, I'll close the ink up now. I'm going to bring my silicone mat in, and I think I've shown y'all this trick before. I'll take a sponge. I'm going to put some of the multi-purpose glue here. Turn the leaf part over. Dip this in the glue and just dab it. Oops. It's a tiny little piece of the leaf. Okay, so you'll take this and you'll match this up. If you can see that, I'm in the camera. Oh, it wants to stick to my hand, to my finger. Hang on just a minute. It wants to stick to my finger more than the cardstock. I need to get me a baby wipe in just a minute if it keeps sticking to me. Okay, then you're going to take these two and you're going to do the same thing with them. Going to get the glue on there. A little bit more. You can also just hold this in your hand and put the glue on there. I kind of like to use this method. but it does want to stick to your hands. Okay. So you're going to match these two up right here. And match that up at the end. Okay, now we're going to do the final one. And if you saw on one of my previous videos, I showed you a little tip of how to get this glue off. You can take it to the sink and wash it. Always wash your sponge out too. You can take it to the sink and wash it now, or you can wait until it dries and then use shipping tape and put the shipping tape right on it and it'll peel right off. Okay, but that silicone mat is awesome for this project. So there, I have another peony flower ready for another card. Like I said, it's not difficult to make. It looks intimidating because it has so many pieces to it, but it really is not hard, and it's fun to play with and practice with, and again, make it any color you want. And this is the card that we made today. And like I said, they're pretty. Any color you want to make them, they're beautiful. I've seen the stamens be black with a red flower. They're just pretty. However you want to make them your own. Thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thank you again.